Hi and welcome to Greedy 3D. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Elegoo Mars 2 mono printer, and I'm going to tell you my genuine honest thoughts about the machine after owning it for a couple of months now. It's an honest review. Now what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is I'm not being paid to do this review. I've not been sent a free one from Elegoo. This is my personal experience on using the Elegoo Mars 2. And I've been using FDM printers for 2 years, so I'm new to resin. So a genuine open-hearted review for you. Stay tuned. So if, like me, you've been using FDM printers now for a while and you've seen the results that other people are getting with resin printers, but you're just not sure which one to get and whether to jump into the resin world, this is a great video for you, because like you, I was a starter 2 months ago having exactly the same thoughts. I did a little bit of research on the internet and I plumbed for the Elegoo Mars 2 Mono. And why did I go for that printer? Okay, well, firstly, the reviews of the printer that I was reading on the whole were really good reviews. The printer itself looks nice. It's a named brand from Elegoo Mars. The results that I'm seeing other people getting on the internet were good. There's some problems, of course there is, and we'll talk about the pros and the cons and the goods and the bads a little bit later on. But as a beginner printer, it's a really good way to jump into the world of resin. So you buy your Elegoo Mars, you get it home and you unpack it. The first thing that I noticed compared to the FDM printers that I've owned in the past is you don't have to build the thing from scratch. It comes reasonably fully built. You unpack it, connect the build plate on, job is done. Finished. And that's a great change to me having to sit there hours with a hex key putting it all on. Yeah, there's some leveling has to be done. There's plenty of videos on how to level your Elegoo Mars, so that's not hard to do. It's easy to do, really. So what do you get in the box? Well, first thing you get is the resin tank. Now the resin tank is a little tank that holds your resin that you just slide in and slide out. It comes with a built-in FEP sheet. Now the FEP sheet, I can never pronounce it, is a clear plastic sheet at the bottom of the tank that allows the light, the ultraviolet light, to shine through. So that tank comes, you don't have to build it, there it is, you connect it into the printer, really easy. You get your build platform, which is like a black build platform, and these are the dimensions of it here. Now just bear in mind, when you compare this to an Ender 3, Ender 5, it is tiny. And that's one of the big negatives for me with the Elegoo Mars 2. Is the build plate is tiny. If you want to build something massive, then a little resin printer isn't for you. If you want detail, if you want a smaller model with higher detail, then this is definitely for you. But just bear in mind the difference in this build plate size. You're going to get a metal scraper with it to scrape some of the things that you've printed off the actual build plate itself. You're going to get a plastic scraper, just used to clean the FEP very gently, but lots of people say don't use it on the FEP, and I've used it a couple of times, but very carefully. You're going to get some gloves, about 3 pairs normally. You're going to get some funnels, you're going to get your adapter, you're going to get some bits and pieces and backup bits, you're going to get Allen keys to tighten up and reduce some of the bolts, and you're going to get no resin. You don't get any resin with it, okay? So don't think it's going to come with a little sort of pot of resin for you to play with. You're not going to get that. So the pros so far, you don't have to build it. It's already made. It's easy to connect up. You plug it in, and once you've bought your resin, literally away you go. So there's the first set of pros when you buy it and you get it home and you unbox it. So let's talk a little bit about the resin. So this is the resin I use here. It's the water washable resin. And some of the horror stories that I heard before I started printing with resin was that the resin was really smelly. You had to use an IPA alcohol-based material to clean it off at the end. You had to cure it with an ultraviolet light. Now you still have to do some of those things with the water washable, but as it says in the title, you use water to wash it, and that makes things a darn sight simpler. No alcohol to mess around with. You don't have to find IPA in this current COVID mad world where you can hardly get hold of the stuff. You just use a little bit of soapy water. So that's brilliant. So this resin, I've used it now, and everything I've done doesn't smell, yeah, a little bit, but it's not an horrendous smell at all. You don't need to have all your windows wide open. It doesn't smell too bad. You can wash it off with water, and it gives you great results, as you can see here. This kind of quality on resin you will never get on FDM, and I've said that quite a few times, but I'm sure you agree here. Using the Elegoo Mars 2 Mono and the Elegoo water washable resin has yielded some amazing results. And the actual printing process itself Using the built-in Chitu box that comes with the printer, you can install this from the USB drive, and this will allow you then, similar to Cura on the FDM machines, to import your STL files, to cut them, to add your supports, etc., and pop them onto your Elegoo Mars 2 Mono and print them. And it's a really simple process. If you're used to 3D printing, you'll have no problem. And even if you're not, you will find that it's quite a simple process if you just follow the simple instructions. And of course, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there to guide you on your way. So were there any negatives for me? Well, there's always a yin and a yang. And I guess for me, the negatives of resin printing, especially with the Elegoo Mars 2 Mono, is firstly the size of the build plate. As we've talked about before, you really can't make anything too big on it, but if smaller, higher detailed models are your bag, then this is great. And I would envisage using the resin printers alongside the FDM as well, so you do get the best of both worlds: quality on the resin printers and perhaps size on the FDM. Resin post curing process, the tipping it out of the vat, the cleaning the vat out, the curing process, the washing process is a little bit of a pain. When you think that an FDM, you just pop it off and it's done, bit of sanding maybe. But with resin, there's an awful lot of post-processing to do. Now, something that I have bought recently to make that post-process a lot less painful is the Elegoo Mercury Plus, which is the wash and cure station. It is a godsend, and it's a cost of about £100, but my word, it's £100 well spent in my opinion. And if you're going to get a resin printer, you really do need a wash and cure station. It's not a necessity by any means, but it does make your life really, really simple. You literally just place your items in the water, it spins it round and washes it, you take it out, you put it on the plate, you cover it over, and the ultraviolet lights do the rest. It's so easy, so simple, and it just takes the edge off that resin printing problem after the printer has finished doing its thing with the resin. So putting this back into some kind of conclusion, would I recommend that you spend your well-earned coffers on an Elegoo Mars 2 Mono? Absolutely, emphatically yes. Spend your wonga. It is an amazing printer for the price. I bought mine off Amazon. It was just under the £200 mark, which is a bargain really, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Do you need the wash and cure station for another £100? Not necessarily, but it really does make life a lot easier. Now bear in mind as well, there is the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro out on the market. There are a few subtle differences between the Mono and the Pro, namely the colour, and I love the green. Don't tell anyone. The colour is red on the Pro. Your build height is a little bit higher by only about a centimetre. It's not much, but you can actually mod the Mono to do the same height in the build plate. And there are some little vents in there to extract some of the smell. No game changers for me. I am more than happy with the Mono, and yes, I recommend buying it. Now, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll try and do more as time goes on. As I say, it's an honest review. I haven't been paid by Elegoo. I haven't been given a freebie, so it's my honest opinion. If you've got any comments or questions, please stick them down below, and please subscribe to the channel. It does make my life a lot easier putting these videos up there, and I hope you've enjoyed today's Greedy 3D. Thanks for watching.